What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Let's Learn GeoGuessr video. In today's episode, we got something a little different for you. I know we've been playing a lot of duels recently and we just hit gold. However, this time I'm beginning to realize that in duels, we need a little bit more locked down information. So I think I'm gonna continue with the duels. However, I am gonna start doing some serious research into specific countries to try and give myself an edge. And obviously, as you can see on the screen here, we're gonna be starting with Croatia today. Croatia is a country that I feel like I haven't seen a whole lot, but the reason that I wanted to pick it out initially was first because I feel like it's kind of a random country that not a lot of people will know if I can identify it quickly. And the other thing about it is it can also help me rule it out of other certain things. A lot of times I won't guess Croatia because I won't even think of it. It's something that I completely have no idea about, so I really want to get to learn it. So let's get right into it. We're on Plonk It right now, trying to learn specifically some of the background meta and things like that are already kind of identified by the community. And then we're going to play a couple rounds on it on the map itself, specifically to Croatia, and try and see if we can do some region guessing, which God only knows how well that will go. But let's see what we can learn here just right away. So right into the beginning, we're going to get into step one, learning Croatia. So Croatia, this is one thing that's interesting. I saw this immediately because it's obviously in the first paragraph. It has long white plates as opposed to the blue strip here on the side most of the time, unless it's Gen 4 camera. I was firmly under the position that all white plates were just Ukraine and Russia. So that's immediately one thing that we can use to kind of add a third country to that question of this is all white plates, where could this be? And a big thing that it says is in the first hint, it says blue stripes are actually most common along the coast because that's where tourists are coming in a lot of the time. So you might have a mix a lot of the time, which I think is something to keep an eye out for. The Croatian bollard you can see here, right, with a black rectangle and red or white reflector. So I think that means this piece here can either be red or white. And it says that it looks similar to a few other ones, so we don't want to get it too confused. However, the Lithuanian ones often are orange. Slavic language, we kind of already figured out Slavic language with things like Czechia, Slovakia, Slovenia, things like that. Also features a lot of J's. Serbian and Montenegrin also are very similar, but Serbia and Montenegro both use Latin and Cyrillic script, as opposed to Croatia. So if we see similar sounding with lots of J's, but no Cyrillic, we can think Croatia pretty frequently. Red and white arrow, okay, but it can also be yellow background. That is a huge hint because I feel like I have never seen yellow background. So obviously that means it might be a little bit more rare, but this is one thing we can kind of pick up on. Square B-type card rails. Okay, I think I've seen these in Turkey a few times, maybe. We'll look at the infographic maybe later, but for now, we can just kind of keep in mind this is the guardrail we're going to see. Gen 3 coverage often has a non-standard car blur, where the side mirrors of the car are partially visible. Small yellow circular sticker on the car mirror. This is a unique sticker to Croatia. So if we see the yellow sticker, we immediately know where we are. That's huge because just car meta, yeah, it's you can either like it or hate it, but it definitely can be helpful in a scenario like this where I need to identify the country quickly to kind of get my opponent on the back foot. Majority of it is made in autumn. So autumn coverage primarily, distinct yellowish or orange. Okay, awesome. Stickers with the letters HR can be found Croatian cars. Makes sense. That's their domain if you didn't pick that up. Directional signs with yellow backgrounds and a black outline. Pencil-shaped tip. Awesome. That's super helpful. I think that's probably one of the more helpful things. Oh, I guess these other countries also have similar thing going on. But still, I think that's helpful. Croatian utility poles are cylindrical and made of concrete or wood. So round poles, they have this alternating thing going on. I'd be curious if that may be a meta somewhere. Buildings typically red brick. This architecture is more common inland. And I'm thinking the red roof is going to be something more common on the coast. Features blue fire hydrants with 2 diagonal protrusions to either side. In Gen 4 have a similar top, but are recognizable due to the blue paint. So blue fire hydrants. Pedestrian sign. He has a belt with a zebra path of 5 stripes. That's pretty big. That's something I would never have noticed. Karlovaco and Uzo Giuseco, that's going to be my best guess at the language, are common Croatian beer companies. Karlovaco. Yep, there it is. All right. Super interesting. Okay. So that's cool. Plodine and Konzum are super recognized. This is a lot of information that's just going to be, flowing in, and I don't know how much is going to be retained. But for now, I think looking at everything is going to be very helpful. Croatia does not have any Gen 2 coverage, but it does have downtown Trekker, and in some of the footage, you'll have a red cap. All right, now we're getting into region guessing, which is God only knows if I'm going to be able to do well on this. The northeastern region of Croatia is mostly flat and features a lot of agriculture. It is similar in terms of landscape to Hungary and northwestern Serbia. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of different like crops growing and things like that. North and west of Zagreb is hilly and agricultural. So it's basically this section is flat, whereas this section is a bit more hilly, but there's similar vibes. Similar agriculture and vibes. The Adriatic coast, which is probably where we're going to see most rounds, I would think, if we're playing on like a world map in duels. The Adriatic coast features rocky mountains similar to those seen in Montenegro and Albania. Shrubs are more common instead of trees along the coast. The coastal region has a lot of islands and peninsulas. So I guess if you're on the coast and you're seeing islands off the coast, that could be a good hint. Houses and walls made of brick or beige brick are common on the Adriatic coast. They often feature green shutters. So basically we're saying brick buildings are further inland and beige buildings are typically more coastal. Obviously that's not always the case because we're looking up here. We see the red roof with like more of a white building. I don't see any brick. Maybe there's brick over there, but I don't really want to click into it at this point. We'll get into it when we get into the map, obviously. The northwestern region of Istria, south of the Italian city of Trieste, I don't know, sometimes has distinct red soil, which is fascinating. But obviously that's very specific to this area. Bilingual street name signs with Croatian and Italian are typically found there. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think I would be able to pick that out, to be completely honest. I might look for this street sign, but I would not be able to pick out the languages that are different, to be fair. All right, step 3, spotlight. Okay, Croatia's capital, Zagreb, has a distinct big city feel. Apartment blocks can be seen throughout the city. The northern parts of the city are hilly. Zagreb has blue electric trams. Okay, so that blue tram is probably going to be very helpful, and it's just obviously big city vibes in Croatia. The region northeast of Zadar is recognizable as it's flat with a mountain ridge visible in the distance north. You can kind of see, obviously if I clicked in, we'd be able to see a little bit better, but there's this ridge of a very large looming mountain in the background. But however, this region specifically is extremely flat. Vineyards are very common around the town of Ilok, which is very far out here in our agricultural region guessing area. Near the Serbian border, west of Novi Sad, you can find vineyards in other parts of Croatia as well, but they're most common in this area. So obviously we're not going to guarantee that it's right here, but 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be there. Yellow sticks with hats on top indicate possible locations of mines. They are most commonly seen along the A1 highway, labeled E65, E71 on Google Maps, but can also be found in other regions. That's kind of funny. So along this big road here, kind of almost going down the coast, you have these yellow hats. That's so silly. Traffic lights in Rijeka are held up by long blue poles that extend over the road. They are exclusive to this city. Wow. Okay. Petrinha was severely damaged by an earthquake in 2020. As a result, many buildings can be seen ruined and going under repair. The city of Dubrovnik is in the far south of coastal Croatia, is famous for its beautifully preserved medieval city walls. That's actually sick. I don't know about you guys, but this place looks so cool to visit. I feel like this would be a really cool place. And that's actually it. So I think if we go through and we get the highlights, right? The biggest highlights, obviously, .hr identifies Croatia. Driving side is obviously right. We're going to be seeing a lot of all white plates. The bollard is whatever. The language without script is definitely helpful. These are helpful. This is a very unique thing, I feel. Obviously, that's going to help identify. Brick inland. Blue hydrants is definitely something big. This, super helpful. This is less so, but definitely something to keep in mind. The red hat tracker footage is helpful. And the region guessing, I think we're going to kind of just play that by ear. But I think we kind of have general ideas. All right. I think we should jump right into it. Obviously, we don't have a ton of experience with this, so we might have to move around a little bit at first, but let's see what we can do. Let's see how well we do. All right. I've not played this map at all, you can see, but let's get right into it and see how well we do. Okay. So we're a bit forested. Looking down here, the region feels pretty flat, but there's a lot of trees, which I didn't really see a lot of. I guess, and here, the car, you actually can see that top of the mirror, just slightly. Obviously, the bollards are very distinct. Kind of tell right away. Question is that... It feels very flat. So I think we're going to kind of go... We're not going to go, obviously... Well, let's get right into Croatia. I would love if we were already zoomed in. So we know this region is very, very flat, but I would think, I mean, these are nice roads, right? These are very well paved. I'm not sure if the whole country is like that, but I would think that this might be a little bit further inland somewhere on like a nicer road. I'm thinking somewhere in here. Let's get a look at the road shape. I mean, obviously we don't really care too much, so let's just kind of go right for it. Let's just go. I mean, we're kind of in a city there. I think maybe somewhere out here. All right. So I think maybe because in the pictures, I didn't see too many trees in this region. I was hesitant to guess over here, but we know if it's flat, we should probably be prioritizing up here for now. Okay. Here we go. So immediately we're noticing decent amount of brick here, which just makes me think immediately further inland seems likely. Roads are a little bit more beat up. There's our blue fire hydrant. Awesome. That's actually so cool. Feels very flat, very agricultural. I would think we're in a town somewhere out here, like maybe Vitrosiva. Let's go here. Let's go Kobrivincia. That seems good. Doesn't seem like a very big town, but I like it. I like it here. I think that's a pretty decent guess. Let's go for it. Might as well give it, you know, a soft bid. See if we can do well. And there we go. That was the right region. That was the right area, pretty much. A little bit more on the outer side, but that was really good. That was really good. Okay, Rocky Mountains. All right, we saw Rocky Mountains where? Was it coastal? Is that the coast? Or is that a mountain? I can't exactly remember. So already I'm kind of struggling. But I want to say along the coast there was a bit more Rocky Mountains going on. And I think that, if I'm not mistaken, these... I mean, obviously we can zoom in actually and probably see where it's a bit more hilly. Maybe out here is a bit more hilly. About further down here. I'm not sure. I'm not seeing much down here. Gotta make sure my mic is close enough so you guys can actually hear me. But we're in these... Yeah, I'm pretty positive we said that these were a bit more coastal mountains. But I'm gonna go further up north, I think. Somewhere up here. Off the beaten path. Let's try that. And we were on the complete opposite side. Oh, okay, here we go. You can kind of see more big mountains down here. Feels I guess not. I guess the coast is pretty hilly. I just wasn't zoomed in enough to really see. And those were the biggest mountains I could really see. But we knew some stuff about Rijeka, and I think that was too big of a city for where we were. Another thing I'm just now noticing is the small antenna on the back of the car here. With a little, like, knob kind of thing. All right, this feels a bit more hilly, I would say. It's not perfectly flat, and we have this big mountain in the background. This just shows how bad my memory is, because we literally saw a thing that said, like, near this city, there's going to be a big mountain in the background. Was it this city? It might be better to just look initially. I'm going to try. So it was generally over there. All right, here we go. This is a bit more of a city. We have some other hints, right? We have the belt. You can just barely make it out there. This might be one where I might look to move around a little bit more. So let's try and do some moving. You can see all the J's. Very common. .hr. It's a decently sized city, but I wouldn't say that it feels... Oh, maybe it does the further we go this way. It definitely could be the capital. I think we guessed capital, probably. But I'm saying we're somewhere further out. So we went north to get to the city. So I would say we're further out here somewhere. See, we weren't. It was a bit of a smaller city. And I should have probably gone with my gut there. Whether I would have gone out here or not, probably not. But it didn't feel massive. It didn't feel like a massive city. So that makes sense. I've received a new medal. Congratulations to me. 5,000 points doesn't feel great considering the total. But that was good. All right, I think I am going to play again. But first, I am just going to pull up on the side just for... No, I won't. I will do one more round, and then I might pull up the dock again just to go through it. Certainly a bit more hilly where we are. There's this big hill in behind us. Let's do some moving. Oh, let's check the license plates. We actually haven't looked yet. Yeah, so all white. All white. And all of these buildings... Oh, there's some brick happening. There's definitely some brick. But yeah, we definitely have to keep in mind that we're in a bigger town. This almost looks like that one town with the blue. Okay, we have some blue. It almost looks like the one town with the blue poles. But that might be wrong. But it's kind of definitely I would say this is not coastal, but the further we go up, maybe. Let me see if I can look out. Wow. This is a big area. Definitely some mountains in the back. I certainly wouldn't be against going with a similar guess to that one round we had up here in Vitrovicia, or maybe something up here, but it's a little bit more hilly than that, so I would say maybe a bit further in. What about Karlovac? How big is that? Not very. This is a pretty big city. So what other big cities do we have if we zoom out? If it's Zagreb, I don't think we're super coastal. You guys don't see the coast, do you? Yeah, because I'm not seeing the coast. I'm seeing hills, so I'm thinking a bit more in here somewhere. I don't think it would be this. I think that's the place that I was thinking, though. I guess let's go outside of this, maybe. I guess let's just try, well, what about here? Yeah, these feel too small to me. Up here. I might just have to guess capital just based on how massive it is. No, surely not. All right, I am going to go with Karlovac just because. And we'll see what happens. Okay, so it was So I guess the one thing that I'm starting to learn is, right, we know this part is very flat, but I think it's a bit more hilly, like almost right in front of that. Like in this general area, I think it's a bit more hilly. So I think if it's looking further inland but hilly, I think we can look there. So here I'm seeing no brick, but I'm also not really seeing that beige coloring. I mean, obviously area codes would be nice. Do we have the short antenna? We do. So that antenna is definitely present in Croatia, I would say. 2 kids running in Croatia. I don't know if that's unique. Okay, we have big mountains in the background. Last time we had those big mountains, we were down. We're not in Italy, that's for sure. We were down here, I believe. So I wouldn't hate going right outside there again. We're not in a big city. We're definitely in more of a town. So I'm going to say we're somewhere over here. Where are they're to our north. But I don't think we're very coastal for sure. I'd say we're a bit further in, so with mountains to our north, that makes me almost want to change my idea to somewhere over here. Not over here, up here somewhere. So let's try somewhere like here. And we're not very good at this. However, the one thing I will say is I feel a lot more confident in specifically just identifying the place itself as Croatia. We have the antenna. Let's get onto the road. Okay, we do. We do have the antenna. What do we got? What do we got? Obviously, the HR there is very helpful. Again, doesn't feel capital city. Feels a bit smaller. And I would say it doesn't feel very coastal. Although, the more I go over here, there are a lot of people here. Yeah, this could be capital, I would say. These have black street signs. We'll see if that is a unique thing. Let's go in here. Just guess somewhere in the capital, I would say. All right, there we go. That's a great guess. Well, not great, obviously, but it's good that we were able to pick out that was the city. Can we click into this? I would love to see, no, okay, so I'm not really in explore mode. I would love to be able to kind of see, and we also have some more blue strips for sure. I'm just curious if those black street signs are something unique or not. That would be really helpful to know. But I'm not even seeing them generally. Okay, yeah, here. Maybe those ones we saw were just a bit rare. Nope, here. They're here. All right, cool. Well, I think that was helpful. Go next. Yeah, so I think this short antenna with the little thing is definitely super common. I think it's common throughout the country. Take a look at license plates. All whites. Rolling hills in the back. Feels like a smaller town, but I would say it's somewhere. Those are to our north again. Yeah, I would definitely say somewhere out here again. I would say it's these mountains, actually. So I would say somewhere maybe over here. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. Much smaller place than I guess I thought. We might have been actually looking at this town or one of these towns from over here. That might have been what the case of what was happening. But this is certainly a much better round already. Brief glance. No brick. Oh, yeah, so there's some brick there. A bit more wooden. This is probably a bit more of a poor area, I would say. And it's very flat. Do we see any mountains? I don't see any mountains. So we're immediately thinking up top here. I would probably say something maybe further up, honestly. Because this looks kind of similar to Hungary to me. Now, that could be anywhere from all of these borders. But I'm going to try over here and see what happens. All right, that's not terrible. I guess I would expect it to be a little bit less flat, but I think the big thing right now is we don't know a whole lot about the middle region. We know a lot about this, and we know a lot about the coast. We don't really know as much about the middle region. So a much better score, though, overall, I would say. With a couple of pretty decent region spots. All right, so this is... that was the other thing about that town, though. I didn't see very much agriculture. I don't know if we looked for that, but this feels much more likely to be right out here somewhere, and we'll just kind of go in the middle. And we're not even in a town, so let's see what the road does. The road's actually going up, so maybe something like over here. Or maybe something like this. Yeah, I like this. Something like right up here. All right, not too bad. I mean, right general region, I would say. Interesting that we have some English here. And I would argue that this feels much more coastal to me. Like, feels touristy. So I'm thinking immediately somewhere down here, maybe outside of Zadar. I don't see any... Well, I guess it's more English. If it's more English, I would say that it's more touristy for sure, but I don't see any Italian. But so this is somewhere people visit a lot, I would say. So I'm going to just try Zadar. Do we see a restaurant that... What's that other place was called? I don't. But I'm going to say we're somewhere down here. Ah, all right. We were up on one of the islands, but that was at least generally the right area. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. I guess I don't know what Zadar looks like. Oh, and we have more of these yellow and red signs, surprisingly. I didn't think those would appear here. Okay, we still have antenna. I just want to make sure that, like, maybe there's a region where the antenna isn't visible, and we can start to kind of piece that together. I think that would be really cool. But this is probably the last round. But I do think this obviously gives a little bit more insight into what Croatia might look like for some people. And I hope that actually helps some of you with guessing. I'm going to move a little bit here. Take a look. How flat are we? It feels very flat. And it also, one thing of note, compared to the last round, it feels much more overcast here. Maybe that is something. Let's take a look. This might be a little bit of a longer video. We are flatter. I'm honestly thinking somewhere in here. I'm not sure why. Let's go Lehenik. All right. So this was one of those times where it was a little bit further up. Unfortunate. Whoa. Well, now we're completely on the coast. But we're in somewhat of a cove, which would make me think that maybe we're somewhere over here. I mean, this is obviously... Wow. You can't tell me you don't want to visit here. Look at this place. This is beautiful. This is very much a city built into the mountains. So we have to kind of find those mountains on the coast again. I'm honestly thinking Split might be very reasonable with all of this. Question is, do we have that cove? Yeah, we kind of do. This is to our north. So we would be on this, looking up, and there's the mountains. I would think this is very accurate. We're over on a bit of one of these kind of thing. Of course, we were wrong, but I think that did line up pretty well, honestly. We were down here in this sort of cove. We have to go here. I gotta go here. This place is beautiful. Nova Makosica. That was incredible. Oh, I guess down by Dubrovnik. That was very much... Look at how small Croatia... I didn't even realize. This is still Croatia down here. This little bit. That's so cool. That's got to be a very cool place to go. Unfortunate on the guess, but obviously we knew we were coastal. I feel like we would have been hard-pressed to find that inland. And this is, again, a very flat city. This almost gives me very similar vibes to that other round where we were up here. So I think I am just going to go somewhere up here. Same thing, though. We were in that flat region. Regardless, this round, despite scores not being perfect, I would say that we were generally in the right section of the country. So I think that's definitely promising. All right, let's brush up one more time. I clicked play again, but we are going to brush up on the website one more time. So let's get more into specific regions, right? We have a bit of a better idea now. So I think looking at the country, so we know this section again is flat. I feel like we did a better job at identifying that. North and west of Zagreb is agricultural and hilly. That was something I think I didn't pick up on. I don't know if we got any rounds up here. Obviously, I'll know in editing when I go back and watch, but I don't think so. Yeah, so the Adriatic coast definitely features these rocky mountains. So we kind of got that generally. We got that down, I would say. On the coast, more of that beige. The green shutters I didn't keep an eye out for. I kind of forgot about that. We definitely didn't get anything up here, unfortunately, which would have been cool to see. So Ulika must mean something along the lines of street, right? Because we saw Ulika on a different sign that was just on its own. Northeast of Zadar is recognizable with a mountain. Okay, so that makes sense because when we were zooming in on Zadar, on that one of those last rounds, the one where we were on the coast, that makes sense for Zadar because Zadar was very pushed into where the water was, but there weren't mountains around it for a pretty decent distance. So that makes a lot of sense why you would see them off in the distance, but not specifically right up close to you. Near the Serbian border, west of Novi Sad, you can find vineyards. We didn't see any of those, I don't think. I didn't see any of the yellow stick hats, but we would know that they're typically around the A1. We weren't up here, I don't think. We didn't see anything in the city. Petrinha is very much central, near Zagreb. And Dubrovnik, we were right near there, I believe. But we didn't see any of this. We're in that more touristy area. That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get back into the game. All right, so in Croatia again, we're in a bit of that more rocky landscape. So we're immediately thinking again, we're somewhere on the coast, but we have some bigger highways. I'd love to jump up here. So regardless, you would think, obviously there's a sign here. Let's just go back and pretend we weren't moving. You would think we're near something of a bigger city. I would venture a guess that we're somewhere up here. All of the mountains are really very much around us. So I would say here could definitely work. What about a bit further down? Yeah, see, I feel this is a bit more flat. Yeah, I think somewhere right up in here. The other option I would say, if it's not there, would be up here somewhere in these mountains. We'll go right around here somewhere. All right, decent. We were down by Split, but generally we were right on the coast. This is an area we have not seen at all yet, but it's a very big river. So let's go into Croatia. Do we see any rivers? Not really a river, but more of an in-cut of the coast. Okay, maybe here? That's one. More of a lake. Yeah, other than that, I think that's the only, genuinely, that was the only river I saw. And I don't even know where it went. The river's really moving with the road. We'll just go with this for now. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Ah, it was way up here. I guess I didn't really take too much of a look around at what was going on. Feels that we're up a bit in some sort of hill, but I would say we still feel very coastal. It feels to me that the Gen 4 coverage, this is a bit more on the coast, but it's also there's a lot of trees. We're in some pretty substantial mountains. I would even say that we're on the coast and we just can't really see it. Yeah, even something like up here somewhere. That's what I'm going to go with. All right, we were up, which is surprising to me. I guess we weren't in as big mountains as I thought we were. One thing that I've noticed that I'm definitely going to take a look at in the future is when the car, like you see the stub of the car is very short as opposed to otherwise. Okay, so here, would we think in the northeast region near Zagreb? Like that's what the thing said, the document. So I would think that we can guess somewhere out here. Because I'm thinking what we're seeing is those mountains. So let's go like over here. And just to try and see what happens. Yeah, so see, really interesting, especially because that's part of the flat region. I would be very surprised to find that there. I guess we didn't look where the mountains were. Now this is obviously a hilly area. My poor guy back here. Oh, these vineyards. Let's get in here. Where were the vineyards? They were in some smaller town up here somewhere. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? Not too bad. All right, pretty bad round overall, but that's okay. Hopefully this actually helped you guys pick up on some things yourself. It really was just mainly for me to kind of help myself improve on identifying Croatia, maybe helping me with region guessing, but I don't really think that's what I was particularly going for. I think I was really just trying to pick out a country and say, how can I nail this down? Just so I'm a bit more knowledgeable. And I think that's exactly what this did. I really want to add this to being part of a series. Because of my lack of knowledge, it might not be the most helpful immediately, but I do think that the more I play these maps, the more I'm going to be able to learn. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a bit of a longer one. Hopefully that wasn't too big of a deal for you. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And with that, have a great day. And I will see you in the next episode.